Hey there, everybody. My name is George. I'm with Extension Ecom, and I'm going to walk you all through our March case study for Primalvore. And with Primalvore, we drove a 65% increase to sales month over month, while remaining 15.76% below their ACOS goal. And like everything, we always start with the client's goals. So for Primalvore in particular, the goal is to increase sales as much as possible while remaining under 70% ACOS. So where do we start when we receive that information? We start with an audit of the council and their business to identify where are the areas of opportunity and really just dive into the data. So what we notice is that all ASINs are on one listing and all of them are within the same campaigns. So, multiple flavor profiles, different size packaging, etc., all within the same campaigns with ad groups broken out into exact phrase, broad, etc. Second thing we noticed was most keywords were not winning top of search. We noticed that sponsored product ASIN targeting was used minimally, despite seeing potential based on historic data. Sponsored display was not actively driving any loyalty, and they had good historic performance on coupons. So once we understand where the account is at, we then transition into strategic implementation. And for Primalvore, that meant taking those top-selling ASINs and advertising them on the highest volume keywords. So essentially removing the campaign structure of all ASINs in the same campaign and breaking out to, hey, here are top sellers, let's have them go after the high-volume search terms with the goal of increasing conversion. Right, we don't want to send something super broad to the lowest selling variation. We don't want to give the algorithm that much control over the situation. We want to take back the control. Next up is the ASIN campaigns are now structured by flavor so that we can be more targeted, beef targeting beef keywords, chicken targeting chicken keywords, rather than, again, leaving the algorithm to decide what gets displayed. Next up, we tested coupons weekly. We tested 10% off versus 15% off. Again, just goaling on increasing conversion to see, hey, does this make sense for us in the long term? What we were able to see through the different changes to the campaign structure and testing coupons was an increase in conversion rate by about 1.25%. So saw some pretty good gains there. Next up is going to be how do we scale the spend in order to scale their sales? As we've seen the conversion rate increase. So increasing our top of search placement multipliers so that we're appearing more often top of search. Those top 3 SP placements, I believe the data showed from PackView, don't quote me, but it's something along the lines of, they're getting 70% of the clicks or 70% of the sales, something along that line. But what we can conclude, right, is those top placements are very key to scaling. Next up is targeting the category and refinements within sponsored products in addition to exact ASINs, just to, again, get us more exposure and just follow those top ASINs wherever they're at, or ASINs that we have competitive advantages over so we can steal their traffic. This helps scale our SP spend by 260%, taking us from 2.5K to 9K. And finally, ad spend. We maintained a full funnel, keeping about 84% SP, about 13% SB, and 3% SD. And that 3% towards SD, again, is making sure those loyalty campaigns are running, right? CPG brands use purchases remarketing with a specific look back. If your product is consumed in 90 days, make it 90. If it takes 30, 30, etc. But also taking some of those top performing ASINs within sponsored products that perform well with product targeting, moving them over to sponsored display and testing them on a CPC basis. So in terms of where we ended up, we can see here the green line on the graph is going to be the March 2023 sales cutting at the 28th, just for an equal look back, because February is only 28 days. Orange is going to be February. So we can see pretty consistently, out far and beyond over February sales. X-axis is obviously days of the week. Y-axis is quantity of sales per day. And what we saw for this graph is a 49% increase or 50% increase to sales month over month, again, excluding the 29, 30, and 31st. So March 1 through 20th came in at 40K versus February 1st through 20th came at 26K. Now, to note, if we add on those 3 additional days, results are now up to a 65% increase to sales month over month, and the ACOS was at 54%, which was 15.76% below goal. And finally, here's just the in-council graph for anybody who needs additional verification. The ACOS in March was 54.24%. So you can see pretty significant ramp, but ACOS really not ramping up that greatly with the different tweaks we made to the campaign structure. If anybody is curious about what we can do from an audit standpoint or how we can support your brand's growth, whether that be becoming more efficient or driving additional sales, feel free to reach out.